I actually kind of thought that the conversation between Kenya and Marlo was productive. I thought it was productive because at least now we know where everybody stands. Okay, there was a scene at the end of the episode, and I'm gonna just start there because why not? There was a scene at the end of the episode where, Kenya Moore basically says, listen, Marlo, you say that you love people, but then you go behind their backs, you backstab them, you talk mess about them, you do snot, shady stuff, and you say that it's love when that's not love. And if that's the sort of love that you want to give out, I don't want to be a part of that. It's not healthy and it's toxic. And I was like, yes. Okay, yes, Kenya is out here trying to make sense out of a situation that does not make sense. And I'm glad she said that because I thought it was important. I thought it was important that she said, I don't want that sort of healthy, toxic love. Keep that over there, and I'm going to be over here. Let's just set those boundaries. Let's set those boundaries. Because, y'all, Marlo Hampton was upset because, Kenya Moore, she drove up to Blue Ridge on her own, right, after saying that she wasn't going to come, but she ended up coming, and she has her own cabin and whatnot, her own home. And Marlo is like, okay, so are you going to stay with us? And Kenya's like, I don't know. And Marlo goes, well, if you're not going to stay with us, then you don't need to be a part of any activities, okay? Because this is my trip, and I feel as though if you aren't going to stay in the accommodations that I set up for you, then you can't really be a part of any other activities on, the trip in the future. So, Kenya's like, fine, baby doll, like, say less. It is what it is. And I respect Kenya for that. I felt like that was a very real moment because in this conversation, yes, it's annoying. We were having fun. We were all taking our shots and we were eating our flatbread and our kale salads and whatnot. And, the candle gang when they got to the mountains and whatnot, that was all cute and dandy. But I feel like that needed to be interrupted because we really got to cut through the bullshit. Okay, we have to cut through the bullshit and say what it is. And I respect Kenya for saying that. I don't want your toxic love, boo. Okay? And here's the thing. Here's the difference between Kenya and Marlo. And I cannot believe that Kenya has not gotten on my nerves not once this season. She was my least favorite housewife of all time because she was such a villain. And I felt like she just did things that to me are unforgivable. Okay, speaking of Marlo saying things that are unforgivable, I mean, Kenya has brought other women to the faces of wives, and she's flirted with people's husbands, and she's okay, we don't have to go into the things. But I'm saying that to say she actually is making a lot of sense to me this season. And I don't know if it's because Portia is not on the show. I don't know if that probably does have a lot to do with it, seeming as though I am the president of the Portia fan club, but I'm just loving Kenya. The difference between Kenya and Marlo in this moment is that, yes, a lot of y'all, both of you guys come from very strained upbringings. Both of you guys come from a space where your parents disappointed you and quite frankly failed you, right? But the difference is, y'all both carry trauma from your past, but Kenya has done the work to try to evolve into a better human being so that her trauma isn't being forced onto other people, furthering traumatizing others. Okay? Marlo hasn't gotten to that point yet. Marlo, I feel like, takes her past, she internalizes it, and she acts out, further traumatizing people. Kenya, she does this, that, and the third every once in a while, but I can tell that Kenya is actually working on herself, and Marlo is just like, she's wild. Okay, she's wild with her words, and what's interesting is that, and let's just get into Marlo's tea. What's interesting about, Marlo's upbringing was, did y'all catch how Crystal came over to the house? Sister Crystal, are they blood sisters? I don't know. I would assume so, because literally Crystal looks like a carbon copy of Michael and William, or Michael and William look like carbon copies of Crystal. So clearly everybody's blood related. But Marlo basically in that conversation said that, at one point in time she took Crystal in, and then that didn't work out. And then Crystal had to live with somebody else, and then this, that, and the third. And she was kind of running down their history, which I thought was interesting because, in this moment, we see that Marlo is struggling. Okay, she apparently told the boys to get the F out. And I kind of drew this connection because in the past, 15, 20 years ago, she took in Crystal. That didn't work out. So she had to leave Marlo's spot. And now in today's time, she told the nephews to get the F out. So that sort of seems like a pattern. Okay, it seems like a pattern to me, a very unhealthy, toxic pattern. Okay, but I'm trying not to judge Marlo. I'm trying to extend her some grace when it comes to this situation with her nephews. I feel like everyone is going to deal with things differently. Would I have kicked the nephews out? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I don't want to be too harsh because, listen, we don't know what's going up here in the noggin. Okay. Secondly, with that conversation with Crystal, they started talking about Marlo's mom and how Marlo's mom was toxic. Marlo's mom just, wasn't the best communicator. She used to drag the hell out of her children, out of her daughters, called Marlo Bigfoot, called Marlo ugly, called Marlo every name in the book but a child of God. And that scene struck a nerve and stayed with me because I'm like, this is so interesting. I'm glad Marlo opened up about her mom because she's literally her mom. She is literally her mom. Probably not as bad as her mom. I'm sure Marlo is better in certain ways. But as far as that mouth, Marlo, you're just like your mom. As soon as you don't get your way, as soon as you disagree with something, you throwing somebody under the bus, talking about you're f***ed out in Atlanta. You date men below your tax bracket. The pussy wasn't good. The pussy wasn't this. The pussy wasn't that. And that is unacceptable behavior in friendships or relationships across the board. Okay? Because you disagree with what somebody did, that doesn't mean that you cut them to the white meat. That's not how friendships work. You extend people grace. You have to be gracious towards your friends. My friends piss me off sometimes, but I'm not going behind their back talking about she out in Atlanta. And then going to come back in front of their face talking about I love you. Okay, remember when Marlo and Cynthia were going back and forth and Marlo was like, I love you. And Cynthia was like, I love you too, sis. After they just cussed each other out talking about Bob Marley and your bald head scallywag. When she called Cynthia a bald head scallywag, that shit was funny. Okay, that shit was funny. But Marlo, you cannot cut people to the white meat and expect these people to love on you and be your friend and be there for you and be your village when you're going through issues with Michael and William. I don't understand how you can expect that. That literally doesn't make sense. Okay, you think Kandi wasn't being a friend to Sheree because Kandi did not reach out to Sheree after the whole Tyrone situation. So you then go and say that she out in Atlanta for that? I don't get it. Like, Marlo, you need therapy. Marlo needs therapy. She has to unpack that trauma. What else is going on? Let's see. So yeah, in this episode, they go to Blue Ridge and whatnot. I'm trying to get my notes together because let's see. Let us see. Let us pray. What I really did love about this episode is that we got a lot of business talk. We found out that Kenya hired a COO, which I think is fabulous. I think that's one thing that I love about Dubai, and that's what I'm loving about this season of RHOA too, is that we're seeing the women in their bags. Okay, get out of your feelings. Marlo, take your own advice. Get out of your feelings and get into your bag. Kenya hired a COO. We see Sheree working on She by Sheree. And then we also see Sonia Richards-Ross working with the brand I Fit, which I think is fabulous. So I love the fact that Bravo is showcasing Black women in business. We love to see it. And I think that's all that I had for this episode. That was pretty much it. I thought, it was a filler episode, but it was a great episode. I think Marlo did a great job sending those beautiful, gorgeous cars, even though we could not eat our OLG wings in the damn car, in the Aston Martin. Okay, that Uber driver said, yeah, no, bitch. You was not finna get your sticky barbecue wings on my damn leather seats. You got the game fucked up. And that cabin was gorgeous. Like, Marlo knows how to set up a spread. She knows how to host. She will have the food, the fashions, and the beautiful cabin. So that was all great and dandy. So, yeah. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about the situation. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.